Like people that judged me when I remarried, do you want me to mourn forever? Don't you have a conscience? Are you not happy that I remarried? Why won't you people leave me to have peace in my marriage? Hi guys, welcome to another new episode of Talk with Sandra, and I am so excited to return back here with another beautiful video. You guys, at first when I wanted to start this series, let me be honest, I was skeptical because I didn't know if this is a kind of video that people are interested in, or maybe if they are going to like the video. But I'm so excited that when I put out the very first video, a lot of you, from the comment section, you can see that so many people got value from the video and so many beautiful comments. It just gave me so much joy. It served as a sort of motivation to me to continue with this series. And trust me, I've come up with so many other ideas of what I'm going to talk about on this series. Not just this topic, not just about widowhood, but so many other beautiful topics. So it gave me a sort of motivation. So I just want to appreciate you all that supported this series. And a lot of other people said I should, I think I've talked about this in one of my vlogs, so many other people said I should create another different channel, about it. But then I want to plead that for now, let's be doing this on this channel, because running two channels is not easy. I have to confess, it's not easy at all. So let us continue talking about it on this particular channel. And thank you so much for your corrections. I saw so many corrections in the comment section, like people trying to correct me. Yes, English don't be our mate. People should manage whatever English that I speak on this channel, because English is not our mate. And again, I'm not coming here to come and form that I know it all, or maybe like I am that educated. I am not. You guys already know my story. So whatever English you see me spoke or spark on this channel, just manage it. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another beautiful episode of Talk with Sandra. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Sandra and I am based in Awka, Anambra State, Nigeria. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 3 stages of widowhood. Yes, the 3 G's, okay, which is grief, growth, and grace. The 3 stages of widowhood that when you are able to pass the first, second, and you come up to the 3rd stage, you know that God has finally brought you to the level where He wants you to be, and it is time to make vital decisions in your life, okay? Another thing is when you find yourself in the life of a widow, or maybe a friend that is widowed, or maybe your mother that is widowed, or your relation, your sister-in-law, whoever that is a widow or a widower, you'll be able to tell what stage they are at a time. Because let me tell you guys this thing, it is very difficult to understand a woman that is grieving, that is mourning her husband, because trust me, especially when it's a woman, hormones will mix up in her body. She will say this today and the next day she's doing a different thing. She's living her life according to what suits her life at that point. So it's always difficult to manage them. And if you also ask all these what are they called, psychologists and the rest of them, they will tell you exactly what I'm telling you now. It's always difficult to manage them at that point. So I'm filming this video so that when you find yourself in the life of anyone that is widowed, you will be able to know what to do per time, and move with them according to the stage that they are. So the very first stage is grief. This stage that I call grief is when a widow is still newly lost her husband, when she's still mourning, when she still can't take measured decisions herself, when she still can't think right, okay? At this stage, you don't need to rush her. You know why? Because she can't think straight at that point. You can tell her, okay, let's do this today, she will accept. The next day, she's doing a different thing. That is the stage called grief, okay? That's time that the wound is still very fresh. She still lost her husband, or he still lost his wife. Everything is still very fresh in their head, okay? They are not beginning to heal. So that is the stage where you don't need to rush her. If you rush her at that point, trust me, you're going to misunderstand her, you're going to misquote her, you're going to misjudge her, and that's it. And there are some people that once they misinterpret the person, they run with that first impression, and that's it. That's their conclusion, that's their judgment, that's their decision about that person. So in that first stage, all you have to do is to give her the opportunity to talk, to speak, okay? Some people, after the death of their husband, they turn to Dundee. I don't know how to explain it. They begin to behave like people that are insane. It happened to me personally, that I'm talking to you. Then little things get me irritated, you know, I get angry over every little thing. I take things too serious. I tend to judge myself, judge every other person around me, you know. So many things went wrong to the point that there was a day I was walking on the road. I forgot I was walking on the major road, and I had my son Sammy on my back, so I forgot, and I didn't know when I entered the express road. Yes, because my mind was somewhere. I was somewhere at that point, okay, but I was still in the major road, and that was how a car almost knocked me down. The man stopped, came down, took me out of the road. Moving away from me, the man said, there is another person that will kill me, not him. I don't know if you understand. Like, the man said, no, I don't know if you guys understand it. So when the man said that, it hurt me. But when I came out of that grief stage, I realized that it was not the man's fault, it was my fault. But at that point, I was seeing it that the man is a wicked man. When I was still grieving, I saw that he wanted to kill me. He's a wicked man, blah, 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 blah. I just concluded. But when I left that stage, I came up to the growth stage. I thought about it again, and I realized that the way I saw it, the way I understood it then, was no longer the way I was understanding it at that point. Can you see now the elevation? I'm beginning to grow from this stage to another different stage. So that's enough reason why you need to give a widow opportunity to be heard, because that day I still remember that I was thinking about how my husband's family were just taking decisions and nobody wants to hear me, nobody is seeking my opinion, I saw myself as somebody that is valueless, that is useless to the family, because major decisions, they don't contact me, they don't inform me, they just take decisions. And that was how they cajoled me into losing some of my husband's property, because they just make decisions and that's it. So you see that it's very, very important that at that stage you hear her out, at least hear what she has to say. You know, listen, let her opinion, hear what is in her mind. Don't just decide, take decisions that has to do with her and you're not involving her, decisions that concern her children and you're not involving her. That's the grief stage. And when you don't involve her in those decisions, that's when she begins to feel isolated, she gets agitated, she gets irritated by all of you, she begins to misjudge every other person. She will see that you hate her. That's the point where she misquotes you. She will not hear any other thing except you explain to her, except there is maybe a psychologist close that will understand her, or a therapist, someone that understands what she's feeling or what she's going through at that point. So when you find yourself in the life of any widow going through the grief stage, try to understand what she's going through. It's not easy. Trust me, you guys. Not just a widow. Anybody, not just a widow or a widower. Anybody that lost a loved one. Children that lost their parents. You know, they go through a lot. Anybody that lost a loved one suddenly, they go through a lot. That's why if it's in the Western world, they take the person to a therapist. You know, they will give the person therapy and all that. So, but here we don't have all that. So we just go with what we have. If you find yourself in that situation or anyone around you in that situation, just help the person, okay? And for some people it is not like this, because you know why? They have cried, they cry. People that maybe their husband, they've been sick for a long time, or their wife, they've been sick for a long time, and they see them suffer in that sickness at a point you even wish, okay, let the person die, let them go and rest, okay? Such people, it's different for them because they have grieved while the person was still alive. They have felt the pain, they have cried while the person was still alive. But whenever you see somebody that it just happened, the news just came, you know, the person was not sick, even if they were sick, but you know, it's not a sickness that should lead to death and stuff like that. You just see the person die. It gets up to the head, trust me. And that's the point where you need to be very supportive. You find yourself in the life of such a person, and you as the widow watching this video know that what you're passing through, some of your actions are not out of line. They are what you should be feeling at that point. Okay, you see yourself that, okay, this thing that I'm feeling now, am I supposed to be feeling it? Am I going crazy? So that you put yourself together and know that whatever you're feeling right now is what you should feel. Okay, so that's the very first stage of widowhood according to my own understanding and my own research and every other one is the growth stage. When you come to this stage, you find out that the person will want to start doing those things that you have been the one forcing her to do. She can overdo it at that point. Yes, because she has left the grief stage. She's no longer grieving so much. She's no longer mourning so much. Not that she has forgotten what happened, no. You will find out that she now have a different level of energy. That is the growth stage. She will want to do everything at a time, at once. Let's assume she wants to do this and that at the same, you know, maybe in a week. Something that is supposed to take her a week, she will want to do it within a space of 2 days. That's the point where a widow begins to realize that, okay, I am now all left alone. It is now my battle. It is now me and my children. It's now me against the world. That is the point where she begins to be protective. Watch what I'm saying. And that's the point where she begins to think about those things that she don't used to think about. Those things that, you know, she didn't think about earlier. Those places that her mind didn't reach at first. That's when she'll begin to think about them. To begin to ponder over them. To begin to read meanings. To begin to fish out, you know, small things that happened that her mind didn't get to. It's on this stage that she'll begin to think about all those things because her thinking is beginning to normalize. Okay, unlike the grief stage when she can't think right, she can't reason right, she can't, you know, make some decisions herself. In this stage now, you find her making some major decisions herself. That is the point where maybe the husband's family will begin to say that she's beginning to be stubborn, she's this, she's that. No, she is not. Initially, when she was grieving, she can say yes to anything, no matter how uncomfortable she feels about it. But when she is beginning to come back to her normal senses, that's the growth stage. When she's beginning to grow and grow past the grief stage, she will begin to say no to some things, accept some things, refuse some. And at that point, people tend to misunderstand them. People tend to judge them wrongly because you see it as being stubborn. She is not being stubborn. He is not being stubborn, okay? Maybe if he's a widower, maybe the husband's, the late wife's family will want to come and take the children and let them be with them so that the man can go about his daily activities because it's not every man that can take care of children. That is the point where maybe he accepted during the grief stage. That's the point where you see him calling to say, no, I want my children to be with me. I want my children back. And the late wife's family will misunderstand the man because maybe they think there's now a woman in his life and he's now beginning to love another woman, and when they bring the children back, the woman will maltreat them and all of that. No, he's beginning to grow past the stage of grief and going into the growth stage. That's the point where he begins to make some major and important decisions that has to do with him or herself, and or that has to do with their children or their husband's business or whatever that is happening around them. Okay, let me also talk about how long it takes one to go from grief to growth. It takes some people 1 year, some 2 years, depending on the circumstances surrounding the loss of the death of their husband or the wife or the loved one that they lost. Okay, so it's different for different people. Some people like me, let me use myself for example. You see me going like one step forward from grief to growth, and one thing will happen because so many things that happened, you know, to me happened at intervals. It's not like it happened immediately, everything happened immediately. No, you see me going from grief to growth and then from growth to grief again. Okay, people like me. But to some other people it's not like that. Okay, so it depends on how people heal. People heal differently. I'm also going to be talking about that. I think that will be in our next episode. Okay, the healing process of a widow. So it's just different for different people, not like it's the same for every other person. So that's all about coming to the grace stage. That's the most beautiful stage of, you know, widowhood. The most beautiful stage of widowhood, I must confess, because the first stage, which is the grief, the second, the growth, and they are a kind of a difficult phase, right? Not like the grace stage is not difficult. It is, okay? I'm going to go into all of that now. But the grief and the growth, they are more difficult than the grace stage. So coming to the grace stage, you are going to see this widow that don't used to mingle, that don't used to go out, that don't used to, you know, put on fine clothes. I remember back in the days when I would have fine clothes, I will not put it on because I don't want people to say, ah, she's dressing too fine. Yes, sometimes, in as much as I didn't dress for anybody to pity me, it still comes up to my head that, oh, I'm not supposed to dress this good. I don't fit into this circle. I'm not supposed to be seen here. I'm not supposed to go here. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. I don't know if any other person has been through this process. Okay, we can talk about this in the comment section, because sometimes when I remember some of the things I did back then, I'll be like, Sandra, is this you now? Is this you? I don't used to be this bold. I don't used to, you know, when you're talking, whenever you're talking and you're being too bold or you're being too expressive, and then you remember who you are or where you're coming from, you just be like, you calm down and you see yourself, you know, withdrawing, trying to feel like, am I even supposed to be talking like this? Am I even supposed to be this expressive? Things like that. So if it happened to you, or maybe you've once experienced it, or something happened in your life that made you feel like that, it must not be the death of a loved one. It must not be death that can make someone feel like that. So let's talk about it in the comment section. So let's talk about the grace period. This is my most favorite of all. I love it because that's the last stage I passed through before, you know, I made the most beautiful decision of my life, which is getting married again. So it's a beautiful stage to me because it was so sweet getting married again, because I get to enjoy those things I don't used to enjoy. Honestly, you guys, I don't know why I'm feeling shy now, but that's just the truth. That's just the truth, honestly. This grace stage, some other people can call it transformation stage. That's the stage where you see that person totally transform into a different thing that may confuse you if you know the person very well, okay? And that's another stage where too much of excitement makes so many widows make some horrible mistakes or take some you know, some disastrous decisions, because it's the stage of excitement. It's the stage where you come to, you don't get control of your feelings anymore. Everything just flows, okay? So I don't know why I'm laughing, maybe because my husband is here, but I have to talk about this, you guys, trust me, I have to talk about this. That's the stage where the widow will begin to redesign her life. Her lifestyle will change, where she goes to changes, people she mingles with changes, a lot of things will change. She'll begin to think about her children more. Like seriously, that's the stage where she'll begin to see the beauty of that her marriage, okay? She'll begin to see the beauty of her spouse. She'll begin to see her husband in those children. She'll begin to see, you know, herself again as a beautiful woman, as a good-looking young man that needs a beautiful woman by her side, as a beautiful woman that needs a beautiful man by her side, for people that want to remarry, because it is not everybody that should remarry. For the ones that are old, you see her begin to, you know, go to her, the down of her box, wear that her clothes that she don't used to wear. Sometimes be like, hey, if it's an old woman, be like, ha, mommy, makazikwata. Mommy, you look so beautiful today. And she'll be like, she is beginning to come out of that stage. The grief stage has come and gone. Growth, she has come up to the level where she now takes charge of her life. That's the growth stage. And now everything flows again. That's another stage where people misjudge her. Okay, maybe a widow or a widower at this stage came early in her own life. People will begin to misjudge her. This is somebody that lost her husband 2 years ago. See how she's dressing. She's how. I mean, do you want her to mourn forever? Is that what you want? Like people that judged me when I remarried, do you want me to mourn forever? Don't you have a conscience? Are you not happy that I remarried? Why won't you people leave me to have peace in my marriage? I mean, it's crazy. She has mourned. When she was mourning, you were not there. When she was crying herself to sleep every night, you were not there. When she consoles herself, you were in the arms of your husband, your boyfriend, or anybody. So leave her alone at this time to live her life. It is her time to do that. And sometimes this is the time that God strikes people that tries to stop the happiness of whoever that is in this stage. Trust me. What I'm telling you may sound weird, but it happens every day. You see people suffer for what they don't know how it came about. Because you see someone that is blue today, tomorrow they change and become yellow, and you just want to start doing exactly what they are doing. I mean, destiny differs. That something is working for this person does not mean it must work for you. That's why you see a lot of things happen in this country on a daily basis. Okay, so that's the stage where you see her trying to try out new things, explore, go on vacation, go to trips, you know, make beautiful trips, buy herself beautiful things, you know, try to do those things she don't used to do on a normal day when she was grieving and when she was going past her grieving period. So that's the stage where you see her trying to explore and do a lot of other things. Okay, that's the stage where she'll begin to give love another chance, be it a man or a woman. Like I said in the first episode, this stage comes early for men. Why? Is because if I say this stage now, people will be like, I'm supporting men too much. Why? Is because some men prefer to marry and keep a woman than to sleep around. I have to be honest. If I don't say it the way it is, then this series is not just what it is, okay? This is we talking to each other. So if the man cannot help himself, instead of getting infected out there, he can decide to remarry. Sometimes widowers remarry not because they want to, but because their hands are tied. They may not be able to take care of the children alone. Do what women do for children. They may not be able to handle children, upkeep, and their job. And they are also running away from falling into the hands of the wrong one. So if they see any good woman that they can put their shoulders on, they just get married. And in this stage, a lot of people misjudge them. Okay. And another thing, men are stronger than women emotionally. Okay. So it's easy for them to let go of things, emotions, than the women. Women, we hold emotions. Okay, we hold it so dear. But men can easily let it go and move on. That's what I'm trying to talk about in this grace stage. So I want to officially congratulate all the widows who has finally gotten to the grace stage. I want to congratulate you. It's not easy to go through the grief, the growth, and come to the grace stage. And I pray that for those that are still mourning, not just widows, any other person that is passing through one challenge or the other, that is, you know, that find themselves in these 3 stages, because it can fall into anybody's life, not necessarily a widow. I intentionally titled it the grief, grace, and growth period because of the inspiration I got. So if you find yourself in any of this category, okay, you're still mourning, you're still downcast, you're still downcast. Is it downcast or downcasted? Because somebody corrected him in the comment section. I don't know the one that it is again. Anyways, if you're still mourning, or let me look for another English, just know that God is right there with you, okay? Don't give up. Keep at it at your own pace. Take things bit by bit. Like I said, very soon, the cloudy sky will be sunny again. Okay, so don't see that all has, you know, everything has gone bad, nothing good will ever come out of you, or you are not going to ever come out of that stage again. If Sandra that you're looking at now can come out of my grief stage, that was the most difficult, because I see myself going from growth to grief. All of a sudden again, I'm back to growth with so much speed. All of a sudden, I see myself going back. That was the moment I began to go too close to God, because I knew that it was beginning to affect every single thing I was doing at that point. I will start a thing and I won't finish it. All of a sudden, I see myself going back to it. Or maybe any little pressure, I just withdraw and be like, oh, if anything happen now, nobody will come and stand for me. My husband is not there. Nobody will come and fight for me. My parents are old. You know, all those things. So if you see yourself going from that grief stage up to growth, I applaud you. And finally, you made it up to grace. Congratulations, okay? It's not easy. And I trust that God is going to see every other person going through one challenge or the other out there through their difficult times. So tell me what you learned in the comment section. Hey, see me speaking and spoken and sparking English. I can't believe it. I just told myself that I'm going to be trying my best to speak better English in this particular series, because sometimes I get a lot of corrections in the comment section. I appreciate it. It's coming from a place of love, okay? But please, people should know that this babe is not that educated. Everything na packaging, no, packaging. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching today's episode. So let's talk about what you learned in the comment section, discuss, you know, talk about it. And if you have any video you want me to film, any particular topic about this widowhood, any subtopic under this widowhood umbrella that you want me to talk about, or any other topic at all you want me to bring to this series, please drop it in the comment section. And if at this point you've not subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button. I don't want to play Dorime in any of this series, because if I play Dorime, it's going to change the game. We are trying to be polished here, so I don't want to play Dorime in this series. So just click the subscribe button, join the family, and let's rock this boat together. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.